Welcome to the Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia podcast, a sacred place and resource for spiritually centered women who want to go from the mundane to the magical life, for overcoming fear and doubt, reconnecting with the goddess, understanding messages from spirit, and uncovering your spiritual gifts so you can finally live the life you deserve. Hey there, spiritual trailblazer. Welcome to the Tia Scope episode, New Moon and Scorpio. So I'm starting to like doing these episodes more and more because it's helping me to also understand how phases of the moon in relation to the zodiac sign it is in really impacts our lives. And that's important because we are influenced by these energies, whether we realize it or not. Even as a kid, when it was, or when the seasons would change from summer to fall, I would feel sad, and not as sad like, oh, this is terrible, horrible. It was just a change. And I learned that it's called seasonal something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I didn't learn it until I was a young adult. And it's one of those things that you tend to brush off. But once you get educated, then you can respond accordingly. So now I don't have that issue. Now I look forward to the fall because I'm really in tune with the cycles and also with the magic that comes with the fall season, especially during the month of October. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention, or at least serve as a kind reminder if you are aware of it, because we are impacted by the cycles, again, whether we realize it or not. And even as a side note, I noticed this with some of my friends as well. We needed more vitamin D during the winter months because we're not getting enough sunlight. And when we're not getting enough sunlight, there's that other element too, So, and again, please do your research. I'm always encouraging you to do your research because I can go on and on and on about something, and the timing would be crazy and it would take even longer to get to the topic. Okay. So, if you're new to the Tia scopes, this isn't me giving a horoscope, but it's rather me sharing information of particular moon phases and how it impacts us. So you won't hear me talk too much about the quarter moon phase and things like that, the waxing and the waning. I will talk about waxing and waning later on. And I also will have blog posts in relation to that later on. Is all timed out, scheduled. But I focus mainly on the new moon and the full moon because they really have a strong impact on us, how we react, on others, the environment. And that's something we need to be aware of. Okay. Also, if you haven't checked out the previous episode, please do so. It's all about helping you understand how your taboo is your superpower. The reason why I did the episode, well, one, it was National Lipstick Day. And I remembered how lipstick was almost banned because of its power. Okay. It was believed that when women wore lipstick, it made men want to marry them, especially when it was red lipstick. That was even bigger taboo. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let me talk about taboos because it's needed. A lot of what we do, especially in the spiritual space, is taboo. And sometimes who we are, how we live our lives, that's taboo. And we need to own it and not be afraid of it. And I understand that some people had to be a little bit more cautious than others, but I wanted to give you some information on how you can embody that and then grow from there at your own pace, really. Because, like I said, some people still have to be in the spiritual closet, and it's not because of a self-esteem or confidence issue. Sometimes it's a safety issue. So I just give you a few tips about really embracing your taboo and why it's important, why it's your superpower. So definitely check out the previous episode. And last but not least, this week's blog post is the beginning of the Magical Days of the Week series. So you can go to blog.tmariejohnson.com, and it is the magical day of Monday. And I talk about the correspondences for Monday, what you can do on Monday, the origin of the word Monday. There are several origins. You can see it there, especially in the English language. You'll see the breakdown from Old English, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely check it out. I am a huge fan of understanding origins. I understand I can't write all the origins out. That again will be a very long process, but also it encourages you to do your own homework and dig a little deeper in that, because that helps you with your practice. It helps you understand more, and it makes it more real for you. So go ahead and check that out. Magical Monday, Magical Days of the Week, starting with Monday, and it's on blog.tmariejohnson.com. All right. So in a nutshell, these telescopes, and I touched on it earlier, is really me doing some research on this to understand, what the heck is going on. All right. There are a lot of energies out there, and they really play a role in our lives. I mean, even the Wi-Fi, right? We can't see Wi-Fi. We know it's there. Our computers, our phones, watches, well, that'd be Bluetooth, but it's frequencies out there that we can't see, right? But it helps facilitate many areas in our lives. So why not understand a bit about that? Okay. So let's dive into this. The new moon phase in Scorpio has several um, elements to it. We have the new moon, right? And when it's a new moon, this is the beginning of the lunar phase. It's new, it's dark. We can't see the moon. The moon is between the earth and the sun at this point. And the other name for it is also called dark. And that's not to be alarmed of like, oh my God, no, it's dark. You just can't see it. It's in the dark. And this means this is a time to work towards something. So anytime there's a new moon, just, lock it in the back of your mind. New moon, working towards something, beginnings. Now, there are many schools of thought with this regarding what you can do for a new moon. Some people say this is not a time for manifesting. This is a time for reflection, inner workings, etc. You can do that. Other people say this is a great time for manifesting because you're going to work on what you want to manifest into your life. And, by the next full moon, it'll come full circle because it's full, right? For, depending on what you want to manifest. If you have a tall order, it may take a few full moons. Okay. But, this is why I encourage you to do your homework, to dive a little deeper, because this is where you figure out what works for you, right? I present information and you can take some, leave others, dive down deep one hole, not so much the other. I just don't want you to get caught up in, oh my gosh, Tia said that to just do this. There are different schools of thought. Think about it. There are many cultures that have their different forms of spirituality. Okay, let's start there. Okay, and then it's what resonates with you. It's just like when I explained the universal definition of things, like an archetype or a color, and then there's the cultural definition, there's your personal definition. It's multi-layered. So that's what I mean here. Do what feels right for you for the new moon. Okay. Whether that's you wanting to work towards something new, or you want to manifest something, or you want to do some self reflection, shadow work, totally up to you. Now, we also have the Scorpio part. So I wanted to explain these two before I combine the two. Again, I'm not an astrologer. I did some research and I wanted to share the information with you because it can get a bit dicey. And like, what does this mean? What does that mean? I just want to break it down for you a little bit. All right. So Scorpio, what an interesting zodiac sign. Many traits that come with Scorpio. All right, we have, they're determined people, brave, loyal, honest, ambitious. Um, and of course, I hear constantly Scorpios are very sexually in tuned, all that jazz. And some negative traits. These are pretty much what can apply to anyone, really. Tend to be jealous, secretive. I'm not even going to go down to negative traits because this is something that can apply to anyone, just like the above. But I wanted to focus on the positive part because when you're doing this work, uh, you want to be able to look at both sides. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can, you know, understand some of our negative traits, right? Like being secretive, jealous. Actually, you know what? I will touch on the secretive part. So they have here resentful, controlling, stubborn. All right. Regarding secretive and, not liking to be vulnerable, it's all about being vulnerable around the right people. And I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So when you want to work with the new moon and you're like, okay, my Scorpio, or I am my sun sign is a Scorpio, or my rising sign or my moon sign is a Scorpio, or most of my astrological chart is Scorpio, you can look at this and think, have I been jealous lately of someone, something I need to really focus on myself? And this is when you want to do the shadow work. Okay. And shadow work is really just you looking at the aspect of your life that's really in the dark. You're not giving it any attention. You're just really not acknowledging it. So that can actually be something good because this is the dark moon. You're doing some reflection. All right. Shadow work doesn't mean that it's bad. It means it's something that you need to address or, at least bring to the light that you really haven't been giving attention to. Secretive. I am all about playing it close to the chest, especially if you have an idea that's new, it's fresh. You don't need people's doubts, worries, being overly protective of you. You don't need all that energy. So I'm all about keeping it close to the chest. All right. But what that means, you have a hard time being vulnerable, sharing your ideas, sharing your feelings. So just make sure you're vulnerable around the right people. And right? Every time I read about or hear about someone having a friendship breakup, there was always a red flag or red flags. They knew they were giving people a pass, etc. So who you can be vulnerable around. Resentful, what are you resentful about? And what I tend to notice is that resentment comes from someone who's not doing something and they're mad about it because someone else is doing it, or they know they could have done better. They didn't challenge themselves. So where are you not challenging yourself? Remember that because that's going to come back later. Are you controlling? Are you trying to overexert yourself by wanting a certain outcome to happen? And you're so focused on that outcome instead of just letting go. Trust me, I know it's not easy. I am an impatient person. Okay. I am patient with children to a certain extent. I am patient with elderly people, but with everything else, not so much. I get it. Okay. But try your best. Really focus on letting go, letting people do their own thing. If you ask someone to do something, give them that autonomy. All right. Don't be a helicopter, above them like that, and if they do something wrong, you can address it in a different way. It's not about that particular outcome. Is not always about the way you want it done. Like the saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get number five, four plus one, six take away one, so don't get so caught up in that. And of course, are you stubborn? Like what do you need to change? All right, now let's go to the positive. Brave, loyal, honest, ambitious, determined. I mean, you can just really focus on that and give yourself a round of applause for where you displayed bravery. Maybe you spoke up for someone who couldn't speak up for themselves. Maybe you were a loyal friend. You were honest. You were just keeping it real, even though it might have hurt a little bit. But you're just telling them the truth no matter what. Okay, so you get the picture. All right, let's combine the two, right? Because now we also have the day of the week it falls on. Now, when I was doing research with this, I got a little bit confused because it's showing that, and I've seen this on Instagram too. It's showing up on the 14th for some people, the 15th for others. And I'm wondering if it's just a time zone issue, maybe, because when I look it up, it looks like it's a time zone thing. So, certain areas in the world, I guess the new moon is on Saturday, and for others, is on Sunday. Now, according to my app, the Deluxe Moon app, I had the new moon on Sunday the 15th. So that's what I'm going to go with, Sunday the 15th. All right, because we're going to talk about how the sun also plays a part in this. All right. Now, let's look at what this means, combining the new moon and then the Scorpio energy. All right, so this is a time to focus on change and transformation. Okay. That Scorpio energy of determination, focus, ambition, that's what's going to fuel this transformation. And the new moon, is really there to usher in, like I was saying earlier, something new, the newness that needs to happen. So if you're feeling this edge, like I need to change, you feel a little bit also fed up and frustrated about something. It could be job, relationships, yourself. You're like, man, I should be in a better position. Okay. That's part of the reason why you're feeling this, because that Scorpio energy of, hey, look, we got to be really focused and really determined to get this done. We got to be loyal to ourselves. Okay, first and foremost. And this ain't working for us anymore. We need a change. We need to transform, or we need to transform the situation. So these are some of the feelings that are popping up. Okay. So our hearts are more exposed now because we are feeling this. Okay. We're really in our feelings to a certain extent. And it is just like a time where we are going to regroup, because we're going to come out bigger, bolder, stronger, better, all of that. And it's going to take a little bit of planning and a little bit of time. But because that Scorpio energy, we're focused and determined and ambitious to make this happen. All right. And it also means you're going to do it a bit stealth like. Okay. That's probably the most notable thing here. This change, what we want to do and things like that, stealth mode, which means, for example, if you're looking to change jobs, we're probably going to tell one or two people. And one of them is probably in that industry that we're looking to go towards. Okay. And then we're going to just be that ninja. We're going to be silent. We're going to be stealth about it, which I like, playing close to the chest. And that's also part of the secretive, which is the negative part of Scorpio, but it doesn't have to be the negative. Like I said, I like playing in close to the chest until something comes full circle. So that so-called negative part is a little bit your strength. right? So this is stealth mode for this change. So I also encourage you to do more research to see how that influences your sign. For example, I'm a Virgo, so I'll dig a little deeper as to how those two energies are impacting the Virgo and me, my sun sign. But I want to move along to talk about the weekday, Sunday. Okay. Now, for those of you where it falls on a Saturday, Saturday has to do with Saturn, and you can look up the properties or correspondences with Saturn. I know Saturn to be a pretty harsh planet, but in a good way, like tough love planet, which is interesting because again, this is a great time for self-reflection. So you're going to give yourself that tough love reflection. Now, Sunday. Sunday is named after the sun, right? So this is like a compound word in a way. And and some of the properties, correspondences, energies of the sun include illumination. Okay, so this means your path is going to be clear, even if you don't know all the steps. Some of the steps, right? Because what change is needed. You need to be stealth like. You know a couple of steps to take because you're going to tell about one or two people. So you're going to inquire about this change, this transformation. So you got that going for you. In addition, Sunday has to do with personal growth, fitness, leadership, wealth. So when you think about it, new moon, Scorpio, sun, Sunday, energy. If we were to create an overarching theme, this is a great time for you to focus on a new path where you are determined to see it to the end in a way that you are doing it stealth like for you to really grow in the areas of personal growth, leadership, wealth, fitness, and you can add your definition of fitness, physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? Now you can also look at it from looking inward, right? A time for self-reflection. So the first part is the first part I mentioned has to do with manifestation, working towards something. Okay. Now the other school of thought, inward, focusing on you. This is a great time, talking about the overarching theme here. This is a great time for you to look inward to understand what are some of your traits that are possibly holding you back from being where you want to be in the areas of personal growth, fitness, leadership, and wealth. Okay, see how we did that? I'm all about putting it into a sentence, right? We can break down the information, look at it, and then we could piece it back together, but have that overarching theme, that sentence that puts it all together. All right. That's one of my superpowers. um, yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about is, what that means for us. Back to how we're feeling. Frustrated, anxious. There's a lot of energy going on here. And there are a lot of ways to release this energy. So let's talk about just a few things of what we can do. And now I got an oracle card, tarot card I pulled for you. All right. What we can do. Now, whether you're working on the manifestation part, working towards the full moon, or whether you want to look, inside yourself, do a little bit of shadow work, doesn't matter. These prompts are going to help you either way. 1, drink lots of water. 2, write your thoughts and your feelings down. Now, if you cannot write it down in a notebook because maybe you are worried your kids are going to find it and it's personal to you. Maybe you are in an apartment and you're sharing your apartment and your roommate maybe is a little bit nosy. I don't know. Maybe you just can't write in a notebook. You can password protect a Word document. I'm trying to remember exactly how to do it. I haven't had a PC in a while. I used to have an HP back in the day. I have an Apple computer, but back then, when I had an HP, in Word doc, you would right click it. And I don't remember if you went to properties or somewhere, you can YouTube it now or Google it. How can I password protect my Word document? And you can do that. Set up a password that you can remember, and you can write down your thoughts or feelings. Or since we're always on our phone, go to your notes section in your phone. Speaking to Apple users, I don't know what it looks like on a Galaxy, but Apple users, notes section, and you can lock your notes. Okay. So type your thoughts and your feelings. You write new moon in Scorpio, date it, write down what you're going to do, whether it's manifestation, shadow work, and write down your thoughts and feelings. Okay, reflect on it. All right, so we have drink water, journaling, and 2, honor your feelings. All right, so if you feel like you need to exercise, go exercise. You feel like this is a time for you to watch a movie on Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, whatever, and drink your coffee or your tea. Don't do anything. That's your prerogative. Do that. If you feel like you need to walk in nature, do that. You feel like you need to go for a drive, do that. You feel like you need to sleep if you can. I know some people have children, they can't sleep in, but if you can, do that. You got to honor your body and your feelings. You have to get more in tune with your body. Your body will always let you know, okay, what it wants, what needs to be done, but you just got to listen. All right. 3 easy things to do. I don't like to pile too much on because I want to give you a start, some pointers, and then you can take off and do whatever you want. Right. All right. Now, let's get to the tarot card. All right. So I am using the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake, or maybe it's Deborah. I'm not sure. I have to look it up because I know a lady and it's spelled this way, and she pronounced it Deborah. So put it out there. Anyway, it is the Everyday Witch, and it's really cool. So the card we have here is the Star, and it's a beautiful woman, very celestial looking. Her cat's there with her. It's nighttime. You see the stars, don't see the moon. And there are different colors and a serpentine motion coming from her hands. One hand is up, facing the stars, other hand is down, going into the little pond that she's in. And the first thing I'm thinking is, as above, so below. And so I open up the book and it states here, we are the light of the stars. The cosmos is also within us. We are made of star stuff. A witch with flowing hair, silver hair, and a long silver gown stands under a dark sky filled with the stars. Let me see, there's explain what she looks like. The water is blue but turns colors when the light joins it. Here is a guiding light in the dark, hope and tranquility, peace amid chaos. She will help lead you to a place of balance that will cleanse your spirit. And if you are fortunate, perhaps she will grant you a wish. How cool is that? The stars have long been a sight that lifts our hearts. Is there anything more beautiful than this? Yeah, star in dark sky. All right. And things to consider. The star brings with it hope and balance, a reminder that we have a spark of the divine within us. So basically, what this is saying or stating is that we have all we need within. We just got to tap into it, tap into the cosmos, which is a bit what we did. I talked about Sunday, the sun, which is a star, not a planet, which is interesting because the star card popped up. So we touched on the cosmos a bit here. All right. And it's there to help light the way. So we really just need to focus on what it is we want and understand that we need to just also bring in that tranquility and hope into our life, right? Because things are a little chaotic right now, more than a little, they are chaotic. All right. I'm sending you all the blessings, spiritual trailblazer. I am rooting for you as always. Remember to be kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next time. As always, spiritual trailblazer, thank you for tuning in. Do make sure to stop by and visit me at tiamariejohnson.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Last but not least, be kind to yourself. I'm rooting for you, and I'm sending you so many blessings. Until next time.